somewhere else, but this is where we found ourselves. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to our season premiere of The Local Show, guys. Thanks so much for joining us, especially our live audience on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Erik Skarvan, your host, guys. Again, kicking off our summer series. I couldn't be more excited and honored and thrilled, and it's about time I've had him on the show. After 18 years of broadcasting, I want to welcome friend and longtime local Tom Moore to the show. Welcome, Tom.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for asking me.
It's great. It's such a great pleasure, and I've known you through, kind of around town and serving on the Max Merle Committee, which we'll talk about. And your lovely wife, Carolyn, is in our live audience today.
Yep.
So we did coach her that when she sees that applause sign, to really try to go crazy. Make it sound like a big crowd.
Right.
So thank you guys for both being here. You guys were up volunteering at Maroon Bells today. Let's start with that, actually. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
So how long have you been volunteering?
My wife's been volunteering for like 20 some odd years.
Okay.
And I've only been doing it for like 5.
Okay.
Or so. And she's the one that got me up and going again. But I have, I just had other businesses and stuff I do and don't take time to do stuff like that. So now I'm taking the time again.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And so you're up there, and we'll talk more about the volunteerism, later in the show. But you're up there doing some trail work. Some of the work that you had originally done back in the 50s, up in that
Late
area,
50s,
like water bar, water management type.
Well, that's when we put the campground in. There was 4. I was on a crew of 4. And some of them have already passed away. Okay. One of them was here visiting last week. We named our son after him.
No kidding.
Yeah, Travis.
Okay. And
we worked up there. I worked all the way around the White River National Forest. Sometimes it would be, but mostly at Maroon Lake. And putting in the 3 campgrounds.
Wow.
Silver Queen, Bar, Bell, and Queen. Yeah.
Got to remember all the silvers.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And put in all the campground up there that is now, everything that we did is gone because they downsized the area. It used to be about 124 camping spots up there.
Okay. I didn't know that.
They're all gone now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But today you're up there working the saw a little bit, doing some trail work and...
Yeah, when there are willow branches and stuff sticking out in the trail, I saw them down, so people don't whack them in the side of the head with them.
I'll tell you.
And keep all the deadfall away and that sort of thing, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, let's backtrack a little bit, Tom, because you're actually born and raised in Aspen. You were born in, was it 44?
I'd love to be 44, but it was 42.
42, okay.
January 15th.
I always give people a couple years, benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Well, at our age, 42. It makes a difference.
Well, that was obviously right around World War II, so it does matter between 42 and 44. And can we maybe touch on some highlights and growing up in Aspen back in the day in the 40s and 50s and?
Well, Aspen was, I think, Travis, my son Travis has the numbers, but I think there was like when I was born, I think there were like 372 residents here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
that's amazing.
That was called, Historical Society calls it the quiet years.
Yes.
But it wasn't that quiet. Just the rich folks hadn't found the place yet. Yeah. So it was a pretty quiet time.
So pretty much everyone knows each other, it sounds like. If you've got a population that small and tight-knit community, very tight-knit community.
Well, there wasn't much to do here either. We had the Isis Theater. You could go for 25 cents to a movie.
Oh my gosh.
And maybe it was only 10 cents for us when I was a kid. That was only a block away from where we lived. So my parents would just send me over there and get me out of their hair at night.
What about like daytime? Were you skiing back in the day, or skinning up the mountain, or hiking
I started
up?
skiing when I was, I don't know, probably 4.
Wow.
I've skied up until this last year. I ski every year. This past winter, I didn't ski once.
What was it like when you first started skiing? Like, what were you hiking up Aspen Mountain, or what did that kind of look like?
There was on Monarch Street, the ski club building was at the top of Monarch Street. It was a log cabin. And they had the boat tow that they would just put in from there up the second road at the bottom of Corkscrew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let kids ride that, but we had a rope tow actually. It started at Wagner Park and went up to the ski club, the top of Hopkins Street.
Okay.
And there were, that was a Hoagland dairy farm then, so there was, in the winter, we could use those, or they got permission to use all those fields down to Wagner Park, because they'd take the cows and put them inside in the winter, as you well know.
Yeah.
And so that's where we started skiing. Then they built Little Nell and T-Bar. We rode that for a long time. Then they built, in '48, they built 1A, or Lift 1 and 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that was the
Midway
longest.
And one to the sun deck, which was just a little tiny shack then, with a fireplace in the middle. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then soon after that, there was no skiing down Spar Gulch. I mean, it was still all mine tailings and debris from timbers and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, and those first few years, everybody had to ski down Aspen Mountain off the front. Then they started opening Turtle Lot Park, and you'd have to take the road back over to Aspen, the Ruthie's to get out of there.
Focus more on that Ruthie's 1A side of the mountain back at that time.
Yeah. And then they started, bulldozing out all the crap in the bottom of Spar Gulch. The 50L FIS was held, and it wasn't held down in the bottom of Spar Gulch. It was up on the side until you got down to Copper Bowl turnoff there.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then-
because the mine dumps
there
right
was
along in there.
a couple turns to get on the road that went almost over the Kleenex corner, but then it would turn off a couple hundred yards before that on a little road and go over Niagara, which was a pretty wild ride in those days. And then they went under Niagara, across Little Nell, and over to the mine, all the mining operations at the top of Mill Street, where we ended up with our ski club there, thanks to Ruth White, and that's where the FIS, all the FIS events terminated, was right there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And then kind of moving into the 60s, you guys would move out to your ranch in 1966
No,
on
I-
McLean Flats?
Then I went off to college. I skied for the University of Colorado, and then I ran into my bride-to-be over there, and we got married about just a little over puberty. We're pretty young when we...
So this is late 50s, early 60s at this time?
64.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and then we moved up here. She worked at the Hotel Jerome lifeguard swimming pool.
Wow.
And I was working for the Forest Service at that time. And then She then went to United Lumber, Deck Mill, which was down where City Hall is now.
Okay.
And the trains would come through, every day. It's too bad they got rid of that right away.
Yeah.
Because if we'd had that nowadays, we'd have a beautiful train that comes from Glenwood up here.
Oh, man.
Morning, noon, and night, day, hour, however they wanted to do it, but they sold the right of way. And I think Rafta owns it now or something, whatever's there. Yeah.
Exactly. Which has become the Rio Grande Trail, the popular Rio Grande Trail. Yeah.
But when we first moved out to McLean Flats, we hear the train go by every morning, toot its horn at every cattle guard.
So when did the train cease operations? Was that sometime in the later 60s then, or how late did that go? That was still before my time.
Well, I'd have to think here a second. Probably about 65 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They took the train out.
Okay.
It was later, Tom, because we moved out there in '66.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was probably 68.
So probably around that, late 60s, 68.
Yeah.
We had a train running up the valley till the late 60s. That kind of ceased operations.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect time to take a quick break, Tom.
Okay, cool.
We can get some hydration. Sorry we don't have any beer today.
Well, I could have brought my own,
Do you brew? Do you brew your own? Okay.
No.
That would be a whole nother conversation because I'm a brewer. I brew at home. So
Yeah?
you brew those 5-gallon batches.
Cool.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
That's a whole nother conversation.
All right, cool.
We're going to take our quick break, guys. We only have one break on the show. I do want to thank my summer underwriters so sincerely for making this series happen. The City of Aspen, Gonzo Nation, Haiti Children, Highlands Ale House, Klug Properties, Picken County Landfill, and Sundog Athletics. I think I got them all from memory. We'll take a quick break, guys. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. We're going to talk about Tom and Carolyn and the whole Moore family, their recent conservation efforts with Picken County Open Space and Trails, and so much more. So don't go away. Support for the local show comes from the City of Aspen, reminding you that you can significantly reduce your carbon footprint by composting food scraps. When food is buried in the landfill, it produces extremely potent greenhouse gas emissions that adds to the trapping of heat in our atmosphere. You can become a climate change warrior by joining our compost program today. Learn more at aspen.gov.
The Gonzo Foundation is a nonprofit organization created to promote literature, journalism, and political activism through the legacy of Hunter S. Thompson, and is a proud supporter of the local show and GrassRoots TV. For more information, visit thegonzofoundation.org.
Locally owned and located at the base of Aspen Highlands, Highlands Ale House features delicious scratch-made comfort food, cocktails, beer, and more. Their sunny outdoor deck is ski in, ski out. 2 miles from Aspen, they're open daily, winter and summer.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Celebrating our 26th anniversary, Sundog Athletics is your opportunity to experience Aspen's most amazing adventure locations and gain new skills to increase your safety, performance, and enjoyment while mountain biking, road biking, hiking, and paddling on Aspen's exclusive canoeing adventure. Like Sundog Athletics on Facebook for fresh adventure updates.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
We're back here on the local show. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. Our season premiere. We run our summer series from June through September. I'm with local legend Tom Moore, who born and raised in Aspen in the 40s.
That's right.
And through the early days of skiing, the bow tow, the lower Aspen Mountain 1A ski experience, the first longest chairlift in the world when it was put in 47 or 48. Took us through those early years of skiing and what that was like, and then you guys would land in your ranch at McLean Flats in the mid 60s, which your friends were like, "Why are you guys moving way out there?" When now,
and they did.
Now, of course, that's like, wow, that would be great, right on the edge of town.
Yeah, well, in those
but you
days,
guys such a
it
beautiful.
was a long ways from town, you know, because
Several
Plain
miles.
Flats Road at that time was a 1.5 lane wide dirt potholed road.
So it's all relative, right? When it's
Yeah.
an old dirt primitive road and you're coming up out of town onto the flat. And how much land do you guys have currently in your ranch?
There's about 310 acres still.
Okay.
I think about that.
Let's start with the animals, because I know that there's a big elk herd. Most recently reported, you estimated about 250 herd of elk, or head of
Yeah, we
elk, I
have.
guess you'd say.
Just depends on the day.
On the day and their
Yeah.
mood and what they're up to.
Yeah.
And what other wildlife do you guys have on the property? And do you have any livestock on the property?
We just have our 3 horses that
Okay.
nobody rides them anymore.
Okay.
So they're just, we feed them morning and night and clean them and occasionally walk them around.
Okay.
They're my
Do you have
daugh-
names?
They're my daughter's horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she name them? That's your daughter, Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cinnamon and Travis. Hey, guys. Hope you're watching.
Yeah. I don't know if they are, but maybe.
So do the horses have names?
We have a little pony named Moon because he's got a moon on his forehead.
Oh, I love it.
And
Crescent
we
moon.
have another pony named Tess,
Okay.
and she's the oldest. And then we have Vacara, and she's a thoroughbred. What do they call mountain? They come from the high hills in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're called mountain something.
Tennessee Walker?
No,
Is
they're
that not a Tennessee Walker?
no, they're called.
Okay.
It's mountain something.
What about like chickens, goats,
no.
sheep?
Gophers.
Gophers?
We have lots of gophers.
What about
We have coyotes.
coyotes? Mountain lions on the property? at all?
Occasionally a cougar, never
Okay.
bear.
Okay.
There's a cougar that likes to walk the Salvation Ditch, which goes all through our property above our house.
What's her name?
You have to ask Michael Kiernan. He's our ditch manager, but we see her occasionally. Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't named her.
Okay.
And we have
Let's talk about the other kind of cougar.
We have a big old. He's passed away now. But we had a big elk. We had him for like 7 years, and we called him
George?
George. Yeah.
George the bull. So he had a
Yeah,
big
he
rack.
had really big.
Big bull, like a
George,
dominant alpha
yeah.
male.
George one day didn't come by anymore. I don't know. I'm sure nobody harvested him. I think he just finally fell over dead.
Probably just
But
old
now
age.
we have George 2,
Okay.
and he's almost as big. He will be in another year.
Wow.
So he's a big guy. And then we have all the babies that are just being born right now. We counted 5 or 6 last night, maybe 7.
Which must be incredible to see when they come down into kind of the
Yeah,
open.
they're sort of knee walking still, you know. They're not too stable, but another week they'll be good. And then
Wow.
of course we have all last year's yearlings. They're all there. I think we had 19.
So you're literally
babies
watching
last year.
watching these elk grow up, watching their
Yeah, they
whole
grow up in our
lifespan.
backyard.
It's incredible.
Yeah. and they go out and play. They run around in circles and
You
chase
still get a
each
kick
other,
out of that. You still come
And
out and watch them and
bucking and going crazy.
bugling and stuff.
And then they play for a while, and then they just fall over and go to sleep. And after a while, 25 minutes later, the moms will wake them up, and then they're herding out of there again, going somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay, so no hunting on the property. So those
No.
guys are protected on the property.
No, there's no hunting there. No.
Let's talk about the conservation, the new conservation proposal with Picken County Open Space and Trails. It was recently featured in the newspaper. And what's that? Can you give us kind of an overview of that proposal?
Well, our family's kind of been doing conservation easements for a long time. We did the one over on Maroon Creek where the Nordic Trail system, it's the open space, more open space than the Nordic Trail system. Right at the high school, most of that is part of open space. And Nordic Trails in perpetuity, and then we did another open space thing down at the end of the airport because we had land that actually went over west of Highway 82, and we cleaned that all up, and now the county owns that, and so now it carried me to that bottom flat land again. I'm talking with Dale Wellham and my family, and we decided that we would just put the whole damn ranch as much as we could into open space and not have any more humongous houses out that way. And so that's what I'm doing. We get we get our homestead parcel, which is where our old home is, and our barn.
Yep.
Both of those are going to go into historic preservation.
Okay.
And then we have a 35-acre piece there that we're going to get another building right on it, and then one on the north end and one on the south end, and the rest of it will be open space. Yeah.
I was reading that 13 lots could be developed there. And can you just talk to that? Because, I mean, that's obviously a lot of money in today's Aspen, or I call it new Aspen, to develop out 13 lots, sell those lots out, versus keeping it protected, open space, beautiful and natural.
13 lots is a lot of money you have to give Uncle Sam to start with.
So there's that. But
And,
still, Tom, I mean, that's...
The other thing is, our family has been here for so long that we accumulated a lot of this land. My dad started it, and I helped him using tax deeds and pay back taxes on a lot of the properties around town and stuff, and then take them to Judge Shaw and get quiet title on them, and then you own them. And so that's how we ended up with a lot of the properties we had in town.
Okay.
Now the ranches, my dad got involved with a gentleman from Texas who was in the oil business, and he wanted to come up here and raise cattle. And so my dad and this gentleman named Fultz, they came up and bought the ranch that we live on now, that we're putting in open space.
Okay.
And lost their butts on the cattle industry. And so the guy from Texas sold out to my dad for about 50 cents on the dollar, and we ended up with a ranch.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's the way it's been since about 1957. Yeah, and then we moved out in the early 60s out there.
We're down to just a couple seconds left.
Yes.
We actually have to wrap up the show. But I guess, how does that make you feel? I want to know how that makes you feel when you do something like that, for the environment, for the community.
Well, we do it for the community, sure. We do it because we believe in what's left of this valley that can be preserved, and nobody can come in and wreck it.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the damn valley. Yeah. So that's a start. And the other, am I out of time?
We're out of time, buddy. Did you have fun on the show today? We'll have you back on.
Okay.
Carry on our conversation.
Okay,
Did you have
cool.
fun?
Oh yeah. for
Good,
sure.
good. Hey, I baked you cookies because I know that's the main reason you came on today. So I didn't want to disappoint you.
I've got these are the Red Hill cookies.
Yeah, well, we'll talk a little bit. The packaging's deceptive. I'm big into repurposing. So thank
there
you,
you
Tom
go.
Moore, for joining
Yeah.
us today. Thank you guys for watching our season premiere of The
got it.
Local Show. Stay with us each week.
The Gonzo Foundation is a nonprofit organization created to promote literature, journalism, and political activism through the legacy of Hunter S. Thompson, and is a proud supporter of The Local Show and GrassRoots TV. For more information, visit thegonzofoundation.org.
Locally owned and located at the base of Aspen Highlands, Highlands Ale House features delicious scratch-made comfort food, cocktails, beer, and more. Their sunny outdoor deck is ski in, ski out. 2 miles from Aspen, they're open daily, winter and summer.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Celebrating our 26th anniversary, Sundog Athletics is your opportunity to experience Aspen's most amazing adventure locations and gain new skills to increase your safety, performance, and enjoyment while mountain biking, road biking, hiking, and paddling on Aspen's exclusive canoeing adventure. Like Sundog Athletics on Facebook for fresh adventure updates.
Welcome to